You just got a view of my my shopping on the other side of the camera. Good morning. I'm the Reverend Bonnie Evans Hills. I've been on here before, and I've also broadcast live from here before from Scotland. You would think I would have gotten this right. I did this. I actually did the whole session and then realized it hadn't gone live. So, oh, well, there we go. That's lockdown life. Anyway, yes, I'm Bonnie Evans Hills, and I started this whole lark when I was living in Liverpool, and mid-lockdown in the UK, I moved to Scotland. I have broadcast on here from Scotland before, but here I am again in my kitchen. The kitchens are a good place. They're a good place to have conversations. Anyway, so welcome to Leven on the coast of Fife in Scotland. Yeah, as I said, I arrived here mid-lockdown. It's been a crazy time for everybody. This is what they call a liminal time. Liminal. It's an interesting word. It's based on the Latin word limen, which is that threshold stone in a doorway. So when you are about to leave or enter, this stone is something you have to step onto before you can change space. So when you are leaving a home, a comfortable space, this is the step you step on before you go outside. Sometimes you pause on that step, and I think that's where we are now. We're in a very long pause on a threshold, a liminal state. And it's unlike, when you're going to go out shopping, you have a plan, or you're going to move house, or you're going to go off and do something. You've got a plan, you pretty much know what you're going to do. But that liminal space is when you don't know what's going to happen when you step outside that threshold. There's a mist in front of you, and you can't really plan or see what's ahead of you, but you have to step out in trust. And it's a big step to make. We don't know what's coming. And we're waiting on that step for quite some time, I think, as we go through the whole journey of this pandemic. I was speaking with religious leaders yesterday from all different backgrounds and faiths, and they were talking about how when the lockdown in the UK first started, people were busy. They were busy doing. They were visiting on doorsteps, and they were phoning, and they were delivering food. And then they started worship online. So they started having services online, and because it was one of those mixed bags. A lot of mistakes were made, but those mistakes meant you were human, and I think that was a big draw for people. To see the human side of religious leaders. We are human. We make mistakes. And they talked about how at first those congregations were growing online. It was really exciting, and they were saying, as this ends, when the pandemic comes to an end, we're going to carry on being online, and we're going to have our worship services in our buildings as well. Kind of doubling the work. But then they said, after a while, they noticed that the congregations were starting to drop off. I don't believe it's because of the quality of the worship that was being offered. I think it gave an offering at a time when people needed it, and now people are tired and scared and not knowing what's going to happen next. And they just want to get on with life, and sometimes having to face those things are difficult and uncomfortable. So in that light, I'd like to share, it's a blessing from John O'Donoghue in his book Benedictus. It's going to come up backwards to you, but it's one of my favorite books of blessings. And this is a blessing for one who is exhausted. And I think that's where we are in the world today, where we're exhausted. When the rhythm of the heart becomes hectic, time takes on the strain until it breaks. Then all the unattended stress falls in on the soul like an endless increasing weight. The light in the mind becomes dim. Things you could take in your stride before now become laboursome events of will. Weariness invades your spirit. Gravity begins falling inside you, dragging down every bone. The tide you never valued has gone out, and you are marooned on unsure ground. Something within you is closed down, and you cannot push yourself back to life. You've been forced to enter empty time. The desire that drove you has relinquished. There's nothing else to do now but rest and patiently learn to receive the self. You have forsaken the race of days. At first your thinking will darken and sadness overtake like listless weather. The flow of unwept tears will frighten you. You've traveled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles you rushed through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open the well of colour that fostered the brightness of day. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Stay clear of those vexed in spirit. Learn to linger around someone of ease who feels they have all the time in the world. Gradually, you will return to yourself, having learned a new respect for your heart and the joy that dwells deep within slow time. I think what we've just heard is a reminder to take time to listen to and observe the world around you. Be mindful. Make each moment count, especially when you're frustrated. Watch the clouds pass by. Drink that cup of tea or coffee or a glass of water slowly. Savor it. And when you feel exhausted, pause to just breathe. Even when you've just had umpteen Zoom meetings and your mind just can't take anymore, sit down, breathe, shut everything off, breathe, feel the air going into your body, feel what each muscle is feeling and tell it to relax. Feel the moment, feel your body, feel your soul. Note down what your emotions are, what you are going through. Each of us, whether those of us living alone or those living with family, we miss someone, miss something, miss work, miss a place, some way of life. It's gone. And maybe this is also a time of mourning, that we used all of that previous activity, all of that doing, to cover up. And the dropping off of all of that activity is our soul making space for that. We need to make space for what's coming. We need to make space for the love that we hold for what is past. This liminal time is necessary, however long or short, I think it's long, in order to make space for what is to come. And it doesn't mean that the things that we loved are gone. Love is never gone and it's never lost. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, one of my favorite writers, has written this piece. Nothing can fill the gap when we are away from those that we love, and it would be wrong to try and find anything. We must simply hold out and win through. That sounds very hard at first, but at the same time, it is a great consolation, since leaving the gap unfilled preserves the bonds between us. It is nonsense to say that God fills the gap. God doesn't fill it, but He keeps it empty so that our communion with another may be kept alive, even at the cost of pain. Liminal time, slow, patient, listening to us so that we can listen to our own selves. I'm going to finish with a prayer, another blessing. This is from Stephen Lawhead, and it's a prayer for those that we are separated from. But I think there's also in it a prayer for ourselves as well. Give them peace to know I am unharmed. Give them hope to know I will return. Give them patience to wait and courage to endure the waiting. Give them strength so that they will not grow weary. Amen. May you have peace. May you have hope. May you have patience. And may you not grow weary.